AEW President and CEO Tony Khan confirms that AEW Rampage has been cancelled and will not be producing new episodes in 2025. After much speculation, it has also been confirmed that Bandido did indeed suffer a concussion whilst making his return to Ring of Honor this past weekend at Final Battle. Talent reportedly is still unsure as to the length of Monday Night Raw once the show moves to Netflix at the beginning of next year. Has the next opponent for Big Boom AJ in AEW been revealed to be Chris Jericho? Ricochet seemingly turns heel on AEW Collision as he defeats Will Ospreay, and Tony Khan says he wants to run Hammerstein Ballroom once again with Ring of Honor. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with the future or lack thereof for AEW Rampage. Now, there had been a lot of speculation, a lot of rumors suggesting that the show was going to be cancelled as part of the new media rights agreement between AEW and Warner Bros. Discovery. And now, indeed, it has been officially confirmed that AEW Rampage will be cancelled at the end of the year. All Elite Wrestling taped AEW Dynamite on 34th Street and Rampage on Sunday from the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City. AEW President and CEO Tony Khan appeared during the tapings and announced Sunday night that it was the last episode of Rampage for the foreseeable future. Now, it had emerged in October that Rampage was set to be cancelled, although there had been no direct confirmation from All Elite Wrestling. The show being cancelled is due to Rampage and Battle of the Belts not being included in AEW's new television deal with Warner Bros. Discovery that takes effect from January 2025 and runs through December of 2027. The terms of the deal will see AEW Dynamite and Collision continue to air on TBS and TNT respectively, and both shows will be simulcast on the Max streaming service. AEW pay-per-views will also be available to purchase on Max from later in 2025. The new AEW television deal is worth approximately $185 million per year. Of course, AEW Rampage debuted on August 13th, 2021. The show has primarily aired as a one-hour series at 8 p.m. Eastern on TNT. Now, a bit of an update here when it comes to Bandido. There was some speculation after he made his return this past weekend at Final Battle that he had maybe suffered a concussion, and now, indeed, it has been confirmed. Bandido made his first in-ring appearance in 18 months at the Ring of Honor Final Battle pay-per-view on December 20th. The Luchador made the save for Matt Cardona following Cardona's Ring of Honor World Title match defeat against Chris Jericho by running off Jericho, Big Bill, and Brian Keith. Unfortunately, the 29-year-old suffered a concussion while performing his very first move. In his daily update, Dave Meltzer noted that Bandido sustained the injury while executing a front missile dropkick. Quote, "We are told Bandido did suffer a concussion Friday night from landing on the back of his head doing a missile dropkick after the Chris Jericho victory over Matt Cardona. Obviously, Jericho versus Bandido was scheduled in a Ring of Honor title match at some point. With concussions, you don't know what it means as far as how long someone will be out of action," he wrote. Bandido last wrestled on June 14, 2023, losing to Konosuke Takeshita at an AEW Rampage taping. He had been out of action after suffering a wrist injury, which required surgery twice. In the lead-up to Final Battle and the weeks leading up to the pay-per-view, vignettes aired on AEW television hyping up his impending return. Tony Khan recently spoke about how he wanted to sign the high flyer from AEW's launch back in 2019. Of course, we get any more details on the severity of the concussion, how long he's expected to be out, we'll let you know in a future video. Now, we're getting closer and closer to Raw debuting on Netflix at the beginning of 2025, and with Raw on Netflix quickly approaching, talent have some unanswered questions still. WWE Raw has been 2 hours for the last number of months, largely due to WWE's brief extension on USA Network. Originally, their deal was set to go until October 2024, but was given a few more months to bridge the gap to the Netflix era. When speaking to talent who were at the last Raw before Christmas, talent weren't told exactly how long Raw would be on Netflix. When Fightful asked over the last number of months, Fightful said they haven't got an answer. One source inside WWE did note that Netflix has no hard outs, and it appears there'll be plenty of flexibility. Meanwhile, SmackDown was officially announced as 3 hours recently, but of course we're still waiting on word about Monday Night Raw. Talent are currently on their Christmas break and return for the holiday tour that begins on Thursday. Of course, we get any more details on a confirmed length or anything like that, we'll let you know, but as of right now, it would appear there's going to be a lot of flexibility as to the runtime of Raw on Netflix. Now, Big Boom AJ, do we now know his next opponent in All Elite Wrestling? Well, possibly, we might just, following Collision this past weekend. AJ of the Costco guys made his in-ring debut for AEW back at Full Gear when he defeated QT Marshall on the show's 0 Hour pre-show. AJ has teased making more appearances for AEW following Full Gear, with him appearing at the recent on-sale press conference for AEW All in Texas earlier this month, and his next rivalry has seemingly been revealed. On Saturday's AEW Collision show at the Hammerstein Ballroom, Big Boom AJ and Big Justice made an appearance on the show, where they were interrupted by Chris Jericho, the Ring of Honor World Champion, and the rest of the Learning Tree. Jericho ran down the Costco guys, as well as other gimmick wrestlers in AEW, such as Bandido and The Acclaimed. Anthony Bowens interrupted Jericho, confronting Jericho and scissoring with AJ and Big Justice in the ring. AJ worked his match with QT Marshall with a broken foot at Full Gear, and he continues to recover from the injury. So what are your thoughts on possibly Big Boom AJ versus Chris Jericho in the future? Is that something you'd like to see? Or who else do you think Big Boom AJ should face off against in AEW? Now, speaking of Collision this past weekend, did Ricochet turn heel? Well, maybe, just maybe. In recent weeks, fans have speculated about Ricochet potentially turning heel in AEW, with him receiving a business card for the Hurt Syndicate from MVP upon MVP's arrival in the company. On this past week's Dynamite, however, MVP rescinded the offer to Ricochet, ripping up the card and telling him, "No one likes a kiss ass." Ricochet left the ring on his own accord, but it seems as though he may have taken MVP's words to heart on Saturday's Collision. On Saturday's episode of AEW Collision, it kicked off with a Continental Classic clash between Will Ospreay and Ricochet, with Ricochet getting a less than favourable reaction from the fans inside the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York. However, it was Ricochet who ended up getting the last laugh, as he managed to pick up the victory over Ospreay by nefarious means. When referee Stephon Smith was getting to his feet after a bump, Ricochet kicked him into the ropes as Ospreay was attempting the leap of faith, knocking Ospreay off the rope and hitting the Spirit Gun to secure the victory. So Ricochet certainly could be heel moving forward in AEW. Mercedes Moné, her upcoming TBS Championship match for World's End has now been confirmed. Mercedes Moné's next defense of the AEW TBS Championship has been announced for AEW World's End this weekend. Mercedes made the latest defense of her TBS Championship on last week's episode of Dynamite, where she retained the title against Anna Jay. Mercedes' defense against Anna came just days after an incredible defense of her New Japan Strong Women's Championship against Stardom's Hazuki, but there's no rest when you are the CEO. Chris Statlander was shown backstage watching Mercedes' defense on Dynamite, with her officially laying out the challenge for a rematch against Mercedes for AEW World's End this weekend on this past Saturday's AEW Collision. Statlander went on to defeat Penelope Ford on the show before Mercedes came out and accepted Statlander's challenge for World's End. Mercedes and Statlander faced it off for the AEW TBS Championship for the first time back at Full Gear, with Mercedes retaining the title in an incredible counter that ended up being the longest women's match in AEW history. Could they repeat the feat this coming weekend? And finally, Tony Khan says he wants to run the Hammerstein Ballroom more for Ring of Honor. Tony Khan running the Hammerstein Ballroom for Ring of Honor's Final Battle 2024 pay-per-view and an episode of both AEW Collision and Dynamite sparked some controversy amongst some in the professional wrestling world, as GCW's Effie made some unkindly remarks about Khan and his father due to AEW running the venue so close to where GCW were. On the back of Ring of Honor Final Battle at the Hammerstein Ballroom, Khan was asked whether he'd return in the future during the post-show media scrum, to which he responded that he would love to. He said, quote, "Yes, I would love to come back for Ring of Honor, and I'm excited to debut AEW here on TNT. It would be great to come here again for Ring of Honor and AEW. Today was my first time in this building, and we're going to be here all weekend. It's safe to say we want to come back again. This has been a tremendous experience with Ring of Honor at Hammerstein. I would love to come back here. It meant a lot to be here for this event. It was a great tradition for Ring of Honor and pro wrestling. It was great for us to come here for the first time, and great to celebrate Final Battle here." Of course, Final Battle featured big matches such as Athena versus Billy Starks and Chris Jericho versus Matt Cardona, in addition to the returns of the likes of Danhausen and the aforementioned Bandido. But there you go, guys. The latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.